If you like my content, please like and click on the subscribe button. Click on the drop down and select all to see regular updates.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Data Sculptor. Today we are going to cover the part 2 of the Python programming from scratch. In this video, we are going to cover the following topics. The first is variables, second is the basic data types in Python, third is how to apply comments or how to write comments in Python, fourth is basic math operators, fifth is order of operations, and last is print. So these all are pretty basic. So if you are aware of any other programming language other than Python, this will be very simple to use or simple to understand. So but since we need to understand Python in deep, we need to understand these as well. The first is variables. So what is a variable? A variable is a named reference to a value or object stored in memory. It acts as a container that allows you to store, retrieve and manipulate data during the execution of a program. So consider variable like a shelf of clothes. So in shelf of clothes, you have multiple racks. So variable refers to address of a particular value in or address of a particular dress. You might have a dress and it's present in some particular rack in a shelf. So variable provides you the address of that particular rack in that shelf. So consider variable of this. So it's a named reference and it stores the address of the particular data. So characteristics of variables. So a variable has a name that you define, making it easier to refer to the data it holds. Value. The value is the actual data or object assigned to the variable. Type. Every variable refers to an object and the object has a type, whether it is an integer, string or a list. So key points of variables. So assignment. So you assign a value using is equal to operator. So example, x is equal to 10. That means x holds the value 10. And the second is dynamic nature in Python. So unlike C, C++ or Java, in Python variables do not have any fixed types. So this type of a variable is determined by the type of the object it refers to. So example, in the starting of the program, you might declare a value 10, which is an integer data type, to a variable x. But in the later part of the program, you can assign a string value, say hi, to the variable x. So both of them are valid. So if you implement the same in say Java or any other language, this throws you an error. But in Python, this is fine. So memory reference. So as told, variables do not store the actual data themselves, but refer to a memory location where the data is stored. Naming rules. So a variable name must begin with a letter or an underscore. So it should be either ABC or underscore ABC or whatever. So the starting character should be either a letter or an underscore. So and the entire variable name, it can either contain letters, digits and underscore. It can also contain digits, say ABC 123 or ABC 5 and all, but it shouldn't start with digits. So it should start only with the letter or underscore, and you should not have even spaces as well. Okay, and it cannot be a Python reserved keyword. Example, if, for, def. So these all are Python reserved keywords. So because if you provide the value as if, then the compiler gets confused whether it has to take it as a variable name or a keyword. So you cannot use a Python reserved keyword. So that is basically a variable. So next is the basic data types. So you have this multiple data types which are supported in Python. So first is the floating point numbers. So example, float1 is equal to 1.234. So basically if you have a decimal value, that is called a float, and say this 1.234 is assigned to a variable called float underscore 1. So as I told, variables name should either start with a letter or an underscore, and float underscore 2 is minus 6.3. So basically if you have a decimal, it automatically considers it as a floating point. And next is integers. So int underscore 1 is 74 and minus 52. So both positive and negative numbers. Next is boolean. So bool underscore 1, as we all know, boolean supports only two values, either it is true or false. And again integers. So now as you have clearly understand what is variable, so and what is assignment operator, so let's do a small exercise. So let's do this. Let's create a variable and assign it an integer value, and create a second variable and assign it a float. Create a third variable and assign it a boolean value. Reassign a different integer to the first variable you have created. Okay, so in the first variable you have assigned an integer. So again, at the fourth step, you have to reassign a different integer to that first variable. So open your VS Code or which you have installed and create a Python file, and let's do this. So pause this video and try to implement this. And once you have implemented, you can continue with the video. I'll explain how you have to write this in Python. So as per the assignment, first we need to assign an integer value to a variable. So let's declare the variable simply as int underscore 1, and let's assign it say 75. And next bool underscore 1, and let's assign it true. Okay, and next float underscore 1, and let's assign it 2.35. Okay, so you have declared just the variable names. You need not use any keyword like var and all. Just you can create a name and just assign that some value to that particular variable. And now let's use the print operator and see what is this, what is it coming. So if you run this, and if you see, just click on this debug and you will see the 75 value. Okay, and now as per the operator, again int 1, I will need to assign a different value, say 53. Okay, and I will use the print and use 53. So I did not explain you what print is yet. So, but just for the sake of this assignment, I am explaining that print is just a command to print a particular output. Okay, print a particular value as an output. So now if I run this, what happened? So what happened? So first, in the first 3 steps, you have included the values in each of the variable, and once you have executed the print statement here, so initially at this point of time, the integer 1 is storing 75 value. So that's why 75 is printed. And after this print, you have assigned a value 53 into this integer 1. Okay, so that's why when you have again executed the same print of this int 1, 53 is shown. So this is how you assign different values to the same integer at a different point of time in the program. So now you have seen the basic data types and the variables. Let's go to the next topic, which is called comments. And so you all know what a comment means. So comments in Python are used to explain the code, making it easier to understand for others or yourself later. They are not executed by the Python interpreter. So whenever you write a command, so the Python interpreter or the compiler does not take that into consideration. So you just write that command so that you will understand it. Okay, so there are basically few types of comments. So first is the single line comment. So if you want to just write a single line of statement or a comment, you have to start that particular comment with a hash. So as you see in this below picture, so hash, this is a single line comment. So once you write this x equal to 10, you just provide a space and provide a hash, and whatever you write after hash, that will be considered as a comment. Okay, so only the compiler takes only x is equal to 10 and interprets this particular code. Whatever you have written as a comment, it will not consider. Okay, so what if you want to write multiple lines of comments? So if you want to write multiple lines of comment, so Python basically doesn't have a specific syntax, but however you can use a triple quotes, okay, either a single quote or a double quote as a workaround. So if you see here, this is a multi-line comment. It can span multiple lines. So if you want to write multiple lines, you start that particular comment with a triple quote. Either it can be a single quote or a double quote, and end that with a triple quote. So if you do not end this particular thing with a triple quote, this will be taken as a code. So this is a multi-line comment. This will be taken as a code, and the compiler will not able to read this, and it will throw an error. So you need to close this particular multi-line with a triple quote. Okay. So unlike single line comment, you need not close anywhere, but for multi-line comments, you need to close. Okay. Alternatively, if you do not want to use this, you can write multiple single lines as well. So as you see, for the first line you write a hash, and for the second line you write a hash. Okay, this is the comments, and next is the basic math operators. So as you know, we have some operations as well, like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So addition, just simple 3 plus 6, it will give you 9, and subtraction 6 minus 2, it will give you 4, and multiplication 2 multiplied by 4. So if you see, you use this asterisk for multiplication, and for division 5 divided by 2, so 5 slash 2, so whenever, so slash 2 will give you 2.5. So unlike SQL or any other languages, 5 slash 2 or 5 divided by 2, it will give you 2.5, but in SQL and all, it will give you 2. So here you have to take that into consideration. So 5 divided by 2 will give you 2.5. Okay. So however, you can still get the modulus of the value or the exact operation as well. So first is exponentiation. Suppose if you want 2 power 3 or say 2 power 5. So 2 power 3, instead of single asterisk, you have to mention double asterisk. So double asterisk will give you, it will take, Python will consider this as an exponential. So 2 asterisk asterisk 3, that means 2 power 3 it will consider. Okay. So floor division. So unlike SQL, suppose if you write 16 divided by, so this slash you have to mention twice. So if you write this 16 divided by 5, it will give you 3. So whatever is the whole number of the particular decimal you get, that will be shown in the floor division. Suppose if you want to get the remainder of this, you have to use this modulus operator. Okay. So 7 mod 3 is equal to 1, and 16 this divided by, you have to use twice to get 5. And if you want a particular division value, you can just write simply 16 divided by 5 or the slash 5. So this is how it is different from other languages. So assignment operators. Assignment operators also again simple. Suppose if you have create a variable, add assign is equal to 5, and if you want to increment this variable by 2, so you can write simply add assign plus is equal to 2. That means this plus is equal to, will automatically consider it as add assign is equal to add assign plus 2. So basically, if you want to increment this particular variable by 2 or whatever value, you have to use this particular assignment operator, plus is equal to. And this is provided because you can write the code very short, right? Comparatively, like if you want to write add assign is equal to add assign plus 2, this is also correct only, but if you, this is also there, so that you can write the code in a shorter way. So both of them are correct. Also, this is not only for addition, you can have this for multiplication, division and subtraction as well. So if you want to decrease the value by 2, you can write add assign minus is equal to 2. So that means 5 minus 2 will give you 3. So if you want to assign, if you want to multiply, instead of plus, you have to mention the asterisk, and if you want to divide, you have to use the divide by. So all those operations are applicable here. So next is the order of operations. So as you all know, we have this BODMAS rule. Well, in your childhood, you have read brackets of division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. So similarly, you have that similar thing here. So this is the order of precedence. So first you have this brackets, and then you have this exponential. So after the brackets execution, then you have the exponential, or this is the precedence, and then you have this modulo divided by, or the floor, and multiplication. So these all will come under the same bucket or same line. Okay, so these all will have the equal priority, and after all of them you have the plus and minus. Okay, just remember, first is brackets, then is the exponential, then modulo divided by, floor and multiplication, then addition and subtraction. So let's understand this with an example. So you have this big one. If you see, you have a 9 minus 7 in a brackets multiplied by 2. You have double multiplication, that means an exponential, plus 10. This is again modulo 6, and you have divided by minus 1. That means you have to provide the floor value multiplied by 2 minus 1. Okay. So as we have read earlier, the order of execution is, first you have to execute the brackets. So first is 9 minus 7 is 2. Okay. So then it will be replaced with 2, and again after that brackets, then it is exponential, right? So if you see, exponential is there. So 2 power 3 is 8. So 2 into 8 plus 10 mod 6 floor division minus 1 multiplied 2 minus 1. So 8 into 2 is 16. 16 plus, so now multiplication and modulo division, I mean the floor division and multiplication, these all are in the same, right? Same level of precedence. So 8 into 2 is 16 and 10 mod 6. So 10 mod 6 is nothing but the remainder, right? So you'll get the remainder as 4, and this is floor operator minus 1 into 2 plus 1. So 16, so 4 floor operator minus 1 is nothing but minus 4. Minus 4 into 2 is minus 8. So 16, this entire value is minus 8. So 16 minus 8 minus 1. Then you have the subtraction. 16 minus 8 is 8, 8 minus 1 is 7. So this is how you calculate this particular value. This is the order of precedence. Hope you all understood this. And next is the print. So you use this to display some output in the program. This is a simple print. So you have a printf or C in, C out, the way you have it in C++ and all. So similarly, you can just write simply print. Okay. So this is to display some output in the program. So unlike Java and all, you have some other functions to take the input. So how to take the input, I'll tell you in the later part of the course. But now to understand how to display some output, is simply use print. Okay. So now let's have a quick demo on print. Simple demo on print. So print, as in the earlier example which we have discussed, so print will give you the output. So this till now, till this point we are clear, right? So now if you see, I just want to write print of say 2 plus 3, okay, and let's remove everything. This is not required for now, and just simply write 2 plus 3. It will directly execute and give you 5. And again, if you want to provide print of hello world, okay, so this will just simply provide you output as hello world, okay, both 5 and hello world. Okay. So now again, print of say whatever we have given this earlier, right? So let's say 9 minus 7 into 2 mod 3 minus 4 divided by 5. So whatever this, so whatever example we have tried to see earlier, this is not the perfect example, but whatever it is, so you can just simply execute this and it will give you the output. So no need to store this in a variable and then calculate the variable and print the variable. Whatever thing you want to whatever operation you want to perform, you can directly provide it in the print function, and this will provide you the output. So this is the simple way in how you use the print. And also one more thing, print is very good function if you want to debug something. Okay. So suppose if you write a big code, say 500 lines of code or 1000 lines of code, print statement will always help you to debug the code. Okay. This is a very valuable function which is mostly used to debug the code. So now in this content or in this course, whatever you have learned, let's write a simple Python program. So our Python program is to calculate the perimeter of a triangle. So a triangle has some lengths 10, 20 and 30, which we have to assign these values to some variables, and we need to calculate the perimeter of this triangle. So perimeter of the triangle is nothing but the sum of the lengths of the triangle. Okay. So lengths of all the sides of a triangle is nothing. If you calculate the sum, that is a perimeter. So now let's write a simple Python program to calculate the perimeter. So let's create these variables. A is equal to 10. So let's store the value of 10 in the variable A. So let's consider A, B, C are the 3 sides, and let's store the lengths of those particular sides in variables A, B and C. So A is 10, say now B is 20, C is equal to 30. Okay. So now these are the these are the lengths of each and every side of a triangle. So to calculate the perimeter, we need to write A plus B plus C. Okay. This is the formula to calculate the perimeter. Okay. So to provide this as an output, you can do it in multiple ways. Okay. First thing is, let's create one more variable called D, or say perimeter. Perimeter is equal to A plus B plus C, and directly you can print of say perimeter. Okay. So this will give you the perimeter value directly. So what is happening here? So if you execute this, so here 60 you are getting. So 60 is nothing but 30 plus 20 plus 10. So first what is happening, if you add a debug point here, and just try to you can just click here and try to click on debug Python file. So if you click on debug Python file, so it will start the debug, and we have since added a debug point over here. So what will happen here, a, b, c and values are so if you see here, if you hover on the variable, you see c is having the value 30, b is having the value 20 and a is having the value 10. So if you sum all this, it is 60. So if you just hover on this, at this point of time, still this calculation is not completed. So once this is completed, it will throw you the output. So if you see, I went to the next step. So now perimeter is calculated, and this perimeter variable holds 60. So directly if you just click next, it will directly throw you 60. So this is how the execution is happening. So first this sum is calculated in a variable, and then this variable name is printed. Or the second easiest way is print of a plus b plus c. Okay. So now just remove this simply, and you can directly write print of a plus b plus c. As I told you, right, you can directly perform the calculations in the print itself. Okay, so it will directly inside the print function itself, it will directly do the sum and provide you the output, that is perimeter. So hope you all like this session, and we'll in the next part of the video we'll cover more about strings and the string functions, and let's learn more about strings in the next part of the video. So if you're watching the channel for the first time, make sure you watch the part 1 of this video before watching this, and please like and subscribe for more videos. Thank you. Have a nice day.